Alright, so this is going to be a little more nitpicky stuff you need to read, and I'll just use the scanner here. So let's say we just read in the file name to make this once, and say you wanted to read in, I want to read in this line entirely, and this one too. Why not? Okay. So I'm not doing problem A, we're doing it with the starter. So it reads in the 1, and then you want to read in the line. It's a little different. So what you do is you say, like, you know, whatever, string line equals q dot next line. I'll just let the autocomplete do it. There we go. Okay, but this doesn't really get you what you want, and I'll show you that in a second. So this will read in the line once. Let's do this twice because we have 2 lines, right? This is going to screw up anyway. Okay. Errors exist. Oh, I defined it again. My bad. Yeah. You notice I read in twice, but I only read in this line. I didn't get in this one too. And that's because, and you look, there's an empty space here, like I said about the print on something, but it was empty. Like, what the heck was that? That's actually because when you read in this number, you're not actually done with that line. There's still the rest of that line there left, kind of like this blue bar here that's empty. And you actually don't, you don't read in when you say next line after you read in from like an int. So what you actually have to do is do q.next line. Some people call that the trash, and then now it'll work properly. Yeah, okay. One last thing. Let's say you're doing a decimal thing. Let's say 4.555. And you want to, like, you know, print this out to 2 decimal places. So you could just do, I don't think you actually need to do next double, but I like to do it anyway. Double dude. Alright. And when you want to print out to 2 decimal places, you have to use printf. And then you would go, and for printf you put, say like you want to print out the decimal, you would do 2 decimal places, you do 0.2f. This is the decimal. And it's like this 2 is like 2 decimal places after the decimal, and this little percent sign is like tells you that it's looking for a command, and then you can put other stuff here. This is to 2 decimal places, and then you put a comma, and then for every little, like, you know, percent sign something there, like percent sign d is for ints, you have to put in what you want to be in those places. So you go dude, and I forgot the system.out. There we go. So now this is a print out to 2 decimal places. Yep. See, now 5.5 is now 5.6, and usually you're gonna want to put the backslash in there. This won't really make a difference in terms of what you see, but you want to be careful with the printf, because system.println puts that backslash in there by default. This one doesn't. So yeah, those are more advanced reading in stuff, and you should be pretty much ready for any reading in things. That you should know how to make, like, you know, doing this from scratch. Do the IO, the util, and making the main and stuff. And you want to make a method, you just do, you know, this is not really reading in stuff. Public static, I don't know, int method. It reads in an int parameter, and then you return, I don't know, 0. This is a really pointless method, but, and then you would call it here. So like in your loop, this is like a main loop where everything would go. So like you go method 8. And you notice how it's italicized, as I was talking about earlier. You can also put, instance variables up here, and you can use those. But you have to make them static. That's the only problem. Public static. Let's call it double pi. I guess I should make this a constant too. Where I put, I think it's a final. Public static. Yeah, final. 3.14159. And then you could do like you can call it in here now. And if it's instance variable in Eclipse, it's blue, and if it's static, it's italicized. So that's actually kind of good if you want to looking for like where do I call my method. Also, you can just like click on your method and then it highlights it. You can click on a variable and it highlights where that variable is. That's all really nice. And like, there's my scanner. Those are all the times I did stuff with my scanner. So that's why I really like using Eclipse. I'm really used to it. You can do a lot with it, but you have to be good. Like you have to be a little experienced. Like just don't go into a contest you never used it before and you decide, oh, I'm going to use it now. Because if something comes up, then you're even using a different computer and a different compiler. Chances are that you're not going to know something and it's going to screw you up a little bit. And if you're going to a contest, you want to be really strong in your I/O already. So, yep. So that's the end of this tutorial. Pretty simple tutorial, but something that everyone needs to know if they're going to go into this stuff.